Good health and hygiene is very important for our physical, mental and social reasons. It entails keeping ourselves, our hands, head, body clean so as to stop the spread of germs and illness. Maintaining a proper health and hygiene environment benefits our own health and impacts the lives of those around us too. So students, today we are going to discuss about the rest and remaining portion from your chapter Health and Hygiene, your chapter number 5 from Science for the class 5 students. Hello students, what's up? I hope everyone is fine and safe during this pandemic. I welcome you all to the revision learning classes and you are watching Revision Learning. Students, in our last class we have discussed about the components of food, about the various nutrients, the importance of nutrients in our body, about the balanced diet and how we can preserve our nutrients. Today we are going to discuss about the diseases. So what is a disease, or how we can say that we are suffering from any disease? When we don't feel good or well, we can't work properly, our body becomes weak, shows different symptoms like fever, fatigue, etc. Then we can say that we are suffering from any disease. Disease means any harmful deviation from the normal structural and functional state of any organism, generally associated with certain signs and symptoms. It's a condition in which our body or a part of it doesn't function properly. So disease is a condition in which our body or any part of our body doesn't work properly. Okay? Now, there are two types of diseases: non-communicable and communicable. Non-communicable disease is a type or is that type of disease in which is not transmissible directly from person to person. It includes diseases like heart diseases, cancers, diabetes, kidney disease, etc. Non-communicable diseases are the leading cause of death globally. So students, sometimes there are some non-communicable diseases which are caused due to the deficiency of nutrients. In our last class we have learned what are nutrients. That means there are some non-communicable, or we can say the non-contagious diseases that can be caused due to the deficiency of the nutrients like the carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins or minerals in our diet. So those diseases are called deficiency diseases. Now we will learn some of the deficiency diseases from the chart given in your book. So the first is marasmus. So deficiency of the proteins, carbohydrates or fats can cause diseases like the marasmus or kwashiorkor. So in the marasmus we will find that a child has become very thin, that we can see the folds of his skin. The ribs of the child are also visible. In the kwashiorkor we can see that the abdomen of a child becomes swollen or it bulges out. Like now, the deficiency of iron can cause anemia. Anemia means very low number of RBCs in the blood. Deficiency of iron can cause goitre. It means the enlargement or the swelling of the thyroid gland present in our neck. So there is a thyroid gland which is present in our neck, and in case of the goitre, it becomes swelled up. Okay. Next, deficiency of calcium and phosphorus can bring improper development of the bones and teeth, and also deficiency of vitamin C can cause scurvy. Scurvy means swelling or bleeding from the gums of our teeth. Now deficiency of vitamin A can cause night blindness, means a person cannot see in the dim light, especially during the night. Deficiency of vitamin B can cause beriberi, in which our skin becomes dry, it becomes extremely weak, and it affects the nervous system and the muscles. So students, I will make a separate video based on our nervous systems of our body, so you can catch it in the next week. So follow up revision learning for this. Now, these are all about some of the examples of the non-communicable diseases that are caused due to the deficiency of the different nutrients. Now, we will learn about the communicable diseases. What are communicable diseases? Communicable diseases are the diseases that can spread from one person to another person. These are also called as the infectious diseases. The biggest example of the communicable disease is the present ongoing pandemic, COVID-19. COVID-19 can spread from one person to another person from any source. So it's the biggest example of communicable diseases. So communicable diseases is the infectious disease, as I told you, which is contagious and that can be transmitted directly or indirectly from one source to another source by an infectious agent or its toxins. So these diseases are caused especially by microorganisms like the bacteria, virus, protozoa, etc. Some of the examples of communicable diseases are cholera, common cold, polio, chickenpox, AIDS, malaria, dysentery, typhoid, tuberculosis, and the biggest example, as I said, it's COVID-19 virus. So how the communicable diseases get spread? Let's see. Number 1, it can spread through air. So when a sick person or ill person coughs, sneezes or splits, the germs from that cough gets released into the air. And when a healthy person breathes that air, the germs enter his or her body. And in this way, that germ can make that healthy person sick too. That's why now it's asked to wear masks every time. If we mask our face, then in case of sneezing or coughing, the germs can be stuck in the mask only and it won't be spread in the air, so that a healthy person, whenever he breathes, he won't get affected or infected. Okay, now the second is it gets spread through contaminated food or water. Food and waterborne illness may be caused by the toxins created by growing bacteria. Food or water gets contaminated if any germ gets mixed with it. And eating and contaminated food may cause food poisoning, diarrhea, typhoid, cholera, etc. So it's better to avoid any food or water that has harmful bacteria or germs in it. Third, it can be spread through direct contact. So if an infected person touches a healthy person, then that healthy one may also get infected. And students, this COVID-19 virus is also getting spreaded by coming into contact either with an infected person or by touching our own face with our own hands that might contain germs or viruses. So that is why it is said to wash or sanitize our hands on a regular basis, time to time, so that we can protect ourselves from other persons from getting infected. Fourth, through insects. Mosquitoes, flies, bugs or sandflies plays a vital role in spreading the diseases like the malaria, yellow fever, dengue or plague. So when a female Anopheles mosquitoes, means the female mosquitoes is also called as the Anopheles mosquitoes, it bites a person suffering from malaria or dengue, then it sucks the blood from that infected person, and when the same mosquitoes bites another healthy person, the germs gets passed into the victim's body and make him sick. So we should be very much cautious that the mosquitoes or flies don't bite us. And sometimes it also gets spread through the damaged skin, means when our skin is damaged, germs can easily enter inside our body. So students, how we can prevent from these communicable diseases, or what are the prevention measures we can take to save ourselves from these communicable diseases? Let's see. So first is we have to clean ourselves every day. We have to take bath every day. We have to drink plenty of water and pure water, and for drinking pure water we should always use water purifiers or UV filters. We should keep our surroundings neat and clean. The children should always be vaccinated properly against diseases like the tuberculosis, hepatitis, etc. And when a person is suffering from any communicable diseases, that person should not be allowed to get out of the house and roam here and there. He or she should take proper rest in the home till he or she fully recovers from the disease. Then we should always disinfect our houses properly, and the mattress, clothings and other things of the disease infected person should be disinfected or boiled, or either it should be exposed to sunlight from time to time in order to kill the germs. So in this way we can take preventive measures to save ourselves or our near and dear ones from the communicable diseases. Now let's come to the vaccination. What is vaccination? It's an effective way of preventing communicable diseases. A vaccine is a type of medicine that trains the body's immunity or immune system so that it can fight a disease it has not come into contact with before. Vaccines are designed to prevent a disease rather than treating a disease once someone has caught it. When the vaccines enter our body, the body produces substances which is capable of fighting the germs of that particular disease. This creates immunity against that particular disease. So many diseases such as hepatitis, tuberculosis, etc. can be prevented through taking the vaccines. Hygiene. Now students, more or less now you have got the idea what is hygiene. Hygiene in one word means cleanliness. Proper hygiene helps us in preventing many diseases. So here are some steps that we should follow to maintain a proper hygiene. For example, number one, we should wash our hands and we should take bath properly. Along with washing our hands, we should always wash our food before eating. We should brush our teeth daily and if possible twice daily, in the morning and in the night. We should cut our nails regularly. We should keep our houses clean. We should disinfect our houses. We should cover our foods properly so that it doesn't get infected. We should not allow water to collect inside old drums or buckets or tires, because in such buckets or tires mosquitoes can breed. Okay, so you have to clean those waters regularly, and in this way, by following such measures, we can follow up a proper hygiene. We can maintain a proper hygiene. Now the role of exercise in our day-to-day life is also very essential. Exercise boosts our energy. Regular physical activity or exercise can improve our muscle strength and boost our endurance. It improves our blood circulation, digestion, and tones up our muscles. Exercise is essential to remain healthy and fit. Exercises delivers more oxygen in our brain, increases the blood circulation and helps our cardiovascular system, that is the system of the heart, to work properly and more efficiently. And when our heart and lungs health improves, we can have more energy to tackle our daily obstacles of life. Along with exercise, we should also take an adequate rest of 6 to 8 hours sleep in a day. Proper rest and sleeps relaxes our brain and muscles. And lastly, we should also maintain a good posture while doing any work. Like if we are sitting or standing, we must keep our back straight. Correct posture gives us a graceful appearance, while incorrect posture over a longer period of time can make us sick. Now students, you have to note this very carefully, that there remains always some harmful bacteria in milk. So, while taking milk, we should always boil it first. By heating the milk at high temperature for almost half an hour, and then by cooling it rapidly, we can kill those germs or bacteria present in it. And this process is called pasteurization. So students, this is all about your chapter, Health and Hygiene. I hope that you have understood this chapter, because this chapter is very important, and I hope that you will maintain all the things and the procedures that we have discussed, how to keep ourselves clean, how to keep ourselves healthy and hygiene, how to prevent us from different communicable or non-communicable diseases. I think you all will keep that in mind and will follow those in your daily life. So with this, I'm winding up this chapter here. If you like the explanation, please like this video, share it to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Revision Learning and press the bell icon so that you never miss any of our videos and updates. Okay, so students, we'll meet in the next class. Till then, keep studying, keep learning, because your education is our care. Thanks for watching.